Cartesian product of both the tables. Okay, Cartesian product means if we have this, let us say 1, 2, 3 somewhere, and you have A, B somewhere, then the Cartesian product means all the possibilities that we have, which means A1, A2, A3, B1, B2, B3. Right, combining all the A with 1, 2, 3 and B with 1, 2, 3. All the values in this with all the values in the other table. That's exactly how the cross join works. So let us suppose you have a meals table and you have 3 meals, and you have a drinks table, you have 3 drinks. And now you want to create combo in your menu. Like with omelette, you can get orange juice. With fried egg, you can get orange juice. With sausage, you can get orange juice. Or you can go for omelette tea, fried egg tea, sausage tea. Or you can go for omelette coffee, fried egg coffee, or sausage coffee. Right. So these kind of things are example of a cross join. So this is different from what joins we have done. Right. It is just combining 2 tables for all the values. So even you will see there is no common column required here because we are combining every value with every other value in this. Okay, and the number of rows that you will get would be the multiplication of the number of values you have here. So if you have 3 values here and you have 3 values here, you will get 3 into 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 rows. Because that is how the Cartesian product works. So in a very simple way, I can show you, let us say I have this employees and projects. Okay, I have this employees and projects. Let us remove department for the time being. Okay, so what I want is in the cross join, find all the possible team assignments by pairing each employee with every project. So what possibilities do we have here? Alice can get alpha, Alice can get beta, Bob alpha, Bob beta, Charlie alpha, Charlie beta, David alpha, David beta. Right. So what I will do, very simple. You don't even have to mention column or something. You can just write select employees dot employee name, comma, projects dot project name from employees cross join projects. Okay. And when you run this, you will get all the possibilities. So Alice alpha, Bob alpha, Charlie alpha, David alpha, Alice beta, Bob beta, Charlie beta, David beta. All the possibilities. If you mention one more column, like let us say if I mentioned project ID also, it will create this whole thing where we now have the repetition. Okay. So I hope this is clear. Cross join you will not use very regularly. You will rarely use it. But from interview point of view, it is important because it looks different. And still, you should know the syntax. It is very simple. You just have to write cross join. You don't have to even write the column or something. So there is no need for any common column. Yes, because it is not working like we need a common column. I have told you already that if I have certain values A, B, C, right, in a column, and if I have 1, 2, 3, so it will just combine all the values with each other. Okay, it does not matter if there is a common column or not when we are talking about cross join. Okay, so cross join is there, rather simpler. Now we have a self join, and this might require a lot more concentration. So we have this secret Santa example, but if you don't know what secret Santa is, then it might be confusing for you. So let us go back to our employees table and try to decipher something from that, right? So I will write here self join. Okay, and we will see that we have an employees table. Now things to concentrate here. Okay. First of all, this is how self join looks like, which means that we are joining the table with the same table. So here the left table is also employees and right table is also employees. Right. Now, second thing to see here, that self join is not a different type of join. It is an inner join only, but because we are doing it in the same table, we call it self join. ठीक है. So self join का कोई अलग से syntax नहीं है. It does not have a separate syntax. You have to just write inner join. But because you are using the same table, that is why it is called self join. Okay. Third thing, that if you have this query here, this is my query for inner join, and this is my result. If I remove the word inner and I just use join, and the result will remain same. So what we can decipher from this, that if you do not mention any type of join, if you haven't mentioned left, right, outer, inner, you just write join, then by default it is a inner join. Okay, so these three things are clear. Self join is a type of inner join, but used within the same table. And if I do not mention the type of join in my query, it is by default a inner join. And most of the times we are using inner join, so we do not mention, like if it is a inner, left, outer, or something.
Is there any difference?
In not
Hello?
mentioning?
Hello?
Yes, difference in what exactly?
Like self join or inner join.
Yes, there is a difference. You will understand that. There is a difference because we are basically in simple inner join. In simple inner join, we are using different tables. In self, we will use the same table. So this is not an example of self join. Okay. I was just telling you that inner join and join means the same thing. Self join, we will do the example now. First, we will get the employees table and we will understand how self join is supposed to work, how we are supposed to join one table with another table. Right. So here you need to concentrate a little bit. And if I ask you, can you give me manager of each of the employee, then how you will do it?
Here we need to see employee ID is mapped to manager ID. Again,
Yes,
that
employee ID is mapped to manager ID.
so it will give you the L1 manager. Again, that manager mapped to which employee, that will be L2 and L3. This is how it will work. L1, L2 means
Yes,
change.
exactly. So L is here. If I want to get the name of the manager, right? So who is the manager of Elise? If I were to write here in,
Here it is null for Alice.
yes, so I will write none. Right,
But
then who
for
is the manager for Bob?
Alice,
Alice. Who is the manager for Charlie?
Alice,
Alice. And who is the manager for David?
Bob.
Bob. How do we know? We map manager ID to employee ID, right? So we can say that in this table, when I was doing normal join, I was using two different common columns like employee.department ID and department.department ID. But in this table, within the same table, I have two identical columns. One is employee ID, another is manager ID. Okay. When we say that we have to join and we have to use a common column, it does not mean that name of the column should be same. ठीक है, अगर नेम ऑफ द कॉलम इधर पे डिपार्टमेंट आईडी है एंड यहाँ पर डी आई डी करके लिखा हुआ है या फिर डिपार्टमेंट करके लिखा हुआ है बट वैल्यू सेम है लाइक 1 2 3 एंड 1 2 3, यू कैन जॉइन देम. You just have to mention like employees dot department ID है and d dot department है या did करके, right? So similarly, in the exact same way, we will do here. What we will do? We will get employee name. ठीक है, let me write the question here. So question is very clear. I want to get employees and their managers names, right? So what I will do, first of all, let us build it one by one. I will write select, E1 dot employee name as employee from employees, and I've used alias, so I will write employees E1 from employees, right? So we haven't done any join. This is basically getting the employee name. These 4 employees. Now,
Yeah.
very carefully, you have to understand, I also want the manager. So I will create a copy of this table and I will name it E2. So E2 dot employee name. Right? E2 dot employee name. This is E2 is exactly a copy of employees table. And now this employee name would be my manager. Right. But you can see that I have no E2 here as of now. The only E1 is there. So I will write join employees E2. Okay, so look very carefully what I have done. First, I have created E1, that is employees table. I have taken employee name as employee. Second, I have created E2, which is also the same table, and I have got employee name as manager. Okay, now after join, I have to write, like after joining and mentioning the tables, I have to write the common column. What is the common column here to join? So for E1, for employee, it is manager ID, and for manager, it is employee ID. Okay, because for Alice, that is in the E1 table, right? Okay, Alice does not have a manager. Let us take a better example, that is Bob, right? Bob here. So how I will find? I will map Bob's manager ID. So employee, that is E1 dot manager ID 1 should be equal to E2 dot employee ID. So 1 here should be equal to 1 here. So I will get, for Bob, I will get Alice. So I will write on E1 dot manager ID should be equal to E2 dot employee ID. Okay. And when I will run this, I will get the values. For Bob, we have Alice. For Charlie, we have Alice. And for David, we have Bob. Okay. We are not getting the first employee. If you want to get him regardless of if you have a manager or not, you can use a left join. So in self join, you can use any type of join. It is not only inner join. It depends on what you want. Self join is the name of the join because we are using it in the same table. Now let me explain this thing to you one more time because I know it is confusing. We are using the same table. So first of all, is the concept clear to you what we are trying to do here? Concept clear है क्या इसका? What we are supposed to do?
Yes, yes.
Okay. See, first of all, I am creating 2 copies of this table. ठीक है, इस टेबल की 2 कॉपीज बना देते हैं हम लोग, E1 और E2, right? Using alias, I am creating 2 copies. Okay, E1 and E2. Now, from E1, I am getting the employee name. From E2, I am also getting the employee name, but I am saying that it is the manager. Okay, so column is same, but with E1, I am saying that it is the employee. With E2, I am saying it is the manager. क्योंकि name तो एक ही column है, so we have to use the common the employee name column only. Now, here I am getting employee name, here I am getting manager. I have to join them. So in employee name, if my manager ID is 2, then how will I get the name of the manager? If manager ID, E1 dot manager ID is equal to 2, then it should be equal to manager का employee ID. Employee का manager ID should be equal to manager का employee ID. So I will check in E2 where I am getting the manager name, which manager has the employee ID 2. and that is Bob. So David with manager ID 2 has a manager Bob because Bob has an employee ID 2. That is exactly what we are trying to do here. Okay, so if I run this, I will get all the employees with all their managers.
If you see here, David report to Bob and Bob report to Alice. So there is another two level of the manager. So if you want to see the another manager level, this is the manager, what column you incorporated here, this is the manager one. If you
You
want to
want to
see
see the
manager,
hierarchy.
yes, a manager two as well. Is it possible here?
It is possible, but not by using the simple join method. So we have a way to create that hierarchy. We will understand that in Windows functions, I think. But in the simple join, we are just getting the name of the employees and the manager.
Okay.
Okay. So that is also a problem statement that we will deal with in the later part. But as of now, it is just getting the details of which employee has assigned which manager. So I hope this is clear to you. We can copy it. You can try it writing by yourself, which is a very better approach. And let me know when you are done. If you face any issues in this particular thing when you're writing the query yourself, so take your time, type this query by hand, do not copy paste, and whatever you feel is something that you are facing doubt in, or you do not understand why manager ID is associated with E1, why employee ID is associated with E2, why not the opposite, just feel free to ask. Okay, I'm pasting the queries in the chat box. These three, first do the alias, then do the cross join, and then do the self join. Okay, I'll give you time. Take 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 minutes, whatever it takes. But whenever you're done, just please let me know in the chat box so that we can do a little bit more questions and we can move forward. Okay, guys. So, are we done with it? Shall we move forward, or you need a few more time to do this query? Okay, I suppose we can move forward. I hope this is clear to you. And we will practice a few more questions on joins today. But before that, we have to complete the last topic for the day, and that is set operations. Okay, now what is set operations? Let us try to understand. As you can see here, if you have done some mathematics in your 11th class, I think they introduce you to set, what are sets and all these things. But that knowledge is additional, not required in SQL. Just remember union, union all, intersect, and minus. Okay, these four set operations we have. Now, what they are and how they are used, I just need a few more minutes of your concentration here to understand how exactly they are different from join. Do not confuse them with the joins and what are the different operations, right? So a set operation basically is not there to combine the tables, it is there to combine the result. Okay, understand the difference. A set operation is not there to combine the table, it is there to combine the result. In joins, like this example, I merge the two tables based on a common column. Here it is not the case. Here I am just adding rows. Okay, so there we were working on columns. Here we are just going to combine the data. How? Like let us say I have this same name, city, and country, right, in table 1, and I have 5 people here. Similarly, I have name, city, and country in table 2, and I have 3 people there. So I'm not combining using a common column and getting the values. I'm just combining two tables. So I can get 5 plus 3, 8 values in the result set. Okay, so we are adding the rows based on what type of operation we are going to use. So if this theory does not relate to you, if you still don't understand, don't worry. One example and it would be all clear for you. So do you remember this table A and table B that we have created? I hope you have that in your table, and we have select star from table A and select star from table B. You have these two tables, right?
Yes.
Now you see that I use two different select statement to give to get two different tables. But what if I want a combined result? What if I want a combined result? So what I will do, very simple. I can just use a set operation. So you see here I have Alice, New York, Bob, Los Angeles, Charlie, Chicago. Similarly, I have David, Miami, Alice, New York, and Eve from Los Angeles. So if you were to combine them, how many values you will get? 6 values, right? 3 from this table, 3 from this table. Just adding with the values. Okay? Don't worry about the common column. All the columns here are there, common only. And I will put the result. I will add the result. Right, and there are different operators. First of all, which is union, that combine the result set, removing the duplicates. Can you help me out with a duplicate? Do you think there is any duplicate in these two tables? Do you see any duplicate?
Alice.
Alice is a
Alice
duplicate.
is
Yes, Alice, New York, right? So in a union, I will first write select name, comma, city from table A. I will get 3 names with 3 cities. Exactly same is my criteria of writing for table B. Again, I get 3 names for 3 cities. If I want to do a union, I just have to write a union here, and that is all. What will happen? It will combine the two result sets. Now I am getting 5 values. Why not 6? Because the duplicate is there only once. So Alice was there twice, but because we have just used union, which says here that it remove the duplicates. So we will get Alice only once. This is clear what it is, why it is used?
Yes.